My name is Joshua Sin. I'm here with Impossible the Movement and with my brother Jonathan Worth. Want to take this opportunity just to be able to, anybody that's going through a similar situation, whether it's addiction or recidivism, they kind of hear his story and how we've crossed paths and know what he's choosing to do with it. If you want to just give him a little description of who you are and what your journey's been like.
Yeah, like Josh said, my name is Jonathan Worth. I'm originally from Huntsville, Alabama. I moved up here when I was 11. I've been back and forth for a couple of years. Got some kids up here, been incarcerated up here a lot. Really, that's where my roots are at, but you know, this is home to me now. My journey's been through the bottom to the top, back to the bottom. I've done things throughout my addiction that to some could be considered unforgivable. I've been in and out of incarceration, like I said, most of my adult life, but I refuse to continue to be a victim of my own circumstances. It's time for me to take initiative and be the greatest version of myself I can be.
Awesome. And just kind of give the setting. Well, we're in Clayton County Jail. He's part of a JCAP program, and you know, this is Family Day, so you know, my brother right here, and we come in and celebrate him. He's actually a mentor in this program. And so I just wanted to take this moment, super grateful for, you know, the county jailhouse to come in, and although he's incarcerated, have his freedom, be able to just share his story and what he's been through. And so what is this program about and what do you do in it?
Well, it's called JCAP, Jail Chemical Addiction Program. It's about recovery. I think personally it's more about finding out who you are, where you've been, where you're going, what your purpose is. I graduated in January of this year, and I stayed on as a mentor to the new coming class. You know, I'm still learning myself. I consider myself a student still, but I'm mentor status. I haven't learned everything. I haven't found out all the tools. You know, I'm sharpening the tools I do have. But, we do MRT, Seeking Safety, Matrix, Anger Management, Inside Out Dad. What else have we got? Communications through Ivy Tech and art therapy. We train canines. Strive class with the YWCA. I don't know if you're familiar with that. First Merchants Bank comes in, helps people learn how to budget, manage money. There's just a numerous amounts of programs and classes that we participate in.
Awesome. So what's that typical day look like for you with the program?
Typical day with Jamie scheduling could be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But usually we're up 8 o'clock. I get up at 6. We'll have 1 or 2 classes from 9 to 10, 10 to 11 might be like Matrix or MRT. Seeking Safety would be after that, and we have lunch. If we get a little crazy, we do some community service throughout the day too. Currently we're painting the administration offices. We do like community service in the community. We go out, we went to the Purdue Extension Learning Network, moved some furniture for them. It's about service work really, man, and I think that helps the guys and myself to really realize that they can be a part of something, you know what I mean? Like the life that I've lived, I've always felt like, you know, I'm an outcast, black sheep, nobody wants me around, you know, but when people see that other side of you, when you're not strung out, you're not on drugs, they see you as a person. You are a part of the community. You want to be. You know what I mean? But a typical day, it's hard programming, man. It's deep. Like Jamie said in his speech, you will cry.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm tough, but I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I've shed some tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really in the gist of it. Nose in books, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Nose in the books. Nose in the books. So how long altogether do you feel like you have time to wise?
Altogether, I've got a little over 8 months on this case. out of that 8 months, I've been in this program 6 of it.
6. Total wise throughout your life?
Throughout my life, I've got 14 years and 7 months.
Okay. And obviously, addiction, recidivism, what do you feel like out of that whole journey, what has shaped you?
And I would have to say adaptability. You know, being incarcerated, you might be able to relate to this. You know, we have to adapt to our environment, and being in there, it teaches you how to be evil. It teaches you how to be a savage. You know what I mean? I know in my heart that's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. But I've been known to be able to take it there. And then when you come home, you're a loving father, son, nephew, etc. People would never know that side of you unless they met you in the trenches. Like
sure.
So I think being able to change, you know, in any given situation, that's really what's shaped me. You know, like you can't fall victim.
Yeah, I agree. You look back at your life and 14 years of incarceration, addiction. Is there a specific moment you look back and something happened and you're like, you just don't look at things the same? Like, as far as your desires, your direction you want to go in your life, is there anything you can look back on like, okay, that's kind of like when things change?
Yeah, definitely. When we was at Putnamville together, I thought I had it figured out. You know, after I completed RWI, I had my head on straight, but I lacked plans. I lacked goals. I didn't have anything, you know, modified out that quick. You know, I had nothing ready for me. But I would say most recently, I was in a high-speed police chase, and that's what led me to my incarceration now. And it ended in a tragic accident. I was laying in the floorboard, and I had an out-of-body experience. And while I'm looking at myself laying in this floorboard bleeding, it was like an epiphany, man. I just realized that, you know, I'm still breathing. God's got his hands on me for a reason.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was at that moment, even though I wasn't here, I was in my mind coherent enough to know, bro, something's got to give.
Yeah.
It's right now. Because the next step from there, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm in the grave. And when I woke up in the hospital, I knew, you know, God's got a purpose for me. I don't know what that is yet, but I know it's not being a drug dealer, being a gang member, you know, chasing the honeys. It's not none of that. You know what I'm saying? I think, me personally, it's giving back, showing people the way, guidance. I don't want my nieces and nephews and my kids to grow up in the same path I live.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to fall into them same footsteps. It's about breaking the cycle for me.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, bro, I think that's impressive is, you know, I didn't really get sure at the beginning. I met Bama at John was his name, but being from Bama, you know, a lot of people in prison go by nicknames. His name was Bama. I remember there was a couple of dudes in our program. You know, we were constantly trying to seek out people coming from idle dorms, a place that there was no jobs, there were no programs, who have potential, who are on the verge of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And one of our friends, one of our brothers, man, named Levi Wilson, was like, man, there's a dude named Jonathan Worth trying to get over here. And we had a counselor, which is similar to Jamie, someone who's for us, sees you as a human being, and that cares. Her name was Miss Robinson. And she was for the people. You know, she probably got a lot of flack because she was trying to go above and beyond to help people believe themselves and make them feel special, and nothing outside the parameters of profession, but just wanting people to change. You can see her heart was in it. Well, Levi communicated to her, we need to get this guy moved up here, and he needs some supervision. We're putting him right next to me, right?
Locks.
And so Levi told me, he's like, man, this dude's coming over. He's got a lot of potential, man. He's a high-ranking gang member. He's got a lot of potential. So let's get him over here. So you remember the first time you met me? Where that was at?
Oh, yeah. Pulled straight up at the door.
Yeah.
Talking about, what's up, bro? And at first I was like, man, who is this big head Asian pulling up on me, asking me about recovery? You know what I mean? But you were legit. You were straightforward. You know, you didn't play no games, and you asked me, you know, are you serious about recovery? And I was. You know what I mean? But the way you approached me is the way I needed to be approached.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because any other way, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember what book I pulled up on you with?
Was it
Family Forward?
Family Forward? Yeah, John Maxwell.
Yeah. I remember you was on Levi's bunk, and I pulled up on you, and I asked you, like, bro, I heard good things about you. Are you serious about recovery? And I said, you read books. And I tried to get you to start working out, and then I pulled up on you with this book. And I remember
I want a book report in a week.
Yeah, I want a book report. Yeah. And Levi, I was asking later, Levi was laughing over in the corner. He knows how to pull up on everybody like that. Yeah. And I remember you're like, man, who's this dude pulling up on these book reports? But, you know, I think that, you know, you guys heard that he was in a high-speed chase. You know, he had got out, and we had stayed in contact. And, you know, you want to show them on your arm the impossible tattoo?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you guys can see, you know, there was a whole bunch of people inside being incarcerated who no longer wanted to adapt to what the world says we should live inside of those societal norms. We wanted to stand on God. We wanted to stand on betterment. We wanted to use our influence in a way to help other people. And a lot of times people think it's a destination, like, hey, when you change, you got to figure it out. Nothing's going to happen. But, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So the reason why I say that, you know, he got out, and obviously, you know, you see he's sitting right here. But I think the important thing is you guys are seeing that he's not giving up. And, you know, he's choosing to respond to failure in a way, realizing, like, hey, that's not going to be the outcome of my life. And I think it's important to reshape the understanding that you're not a victim. You know, you have control on how you get to respond. And as you see, he's a mentor in this program, and I stayed in touch with him, and his mentality was like, man, I'm going to go do this time, jump straight into programs. And I know it might be institutionalized in thinking, but really he's a secret angel by God, going back into these places, being able to use his influence and 14 years of experience of knowing how to speak these people's languages to grab some of these younger kids and these people who are on the verge of acting or thinking that they want this real life and they really don't. And so we had a strong group of individuals in the program. We were in there, and our mentality was to identify eagles who were hanging around chickens, because if an eagle hangs around a chicken his whole life, it never learns how to fly. So what that looked like for us, we could see guys that wanted to change but just had bad people around them. So whether it's working out, whether it's eating slams with us, whether it's watching movies, hanging out in the rec yard, bro, God's putting you back in that position to go back in there. And that's where you're paying its purpose, bro. You know, that 4.5 years going back to those habits. Bro, you was on fire. All of us, bro, working out, reading, getting the word, going above and beyond. You can go back into that environment not only to deepen those reflexes in your identity and create that momentum, but, bro, there's a lot of people you're gonna be able to reach. So I know you showed them the impossible. You know, you got impossible on your arm. What does impossible mean to you? If someone didn't know what impossible is and they're hearing about it, how would you explain it?
I would explain to them that it's a way of life. You know, it's a values and principles that you can base your life on. But to me, I took it for granted at first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you pitch it to me, well, I tell you, sold. You got me. I'm hooked. But I never implemented any of that in my life when I got out. If I would have implemented that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. We wouldn't be doing this interview. We'd be out there probably yacht. Maybe a little two-man basketball, but that's a yacht to me. But it's a way of life, man. You know, it stands for something. So, like, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And the way I interpret it is, if I'm not going to live by the values and principles of it, I'm false flagging, bro. You're pump faking. You're pump faking. You're wasting time. You're wasting your own time. And you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be happy. By implementing these things in my life, man, it, along with God, has changed my outlook on everything. Like, even just drinking a cup of water, I'm grateful for that. I used to not be grateful for that. I used to just be a cup of water, you know what I mean? But so if I was to just say, hey man, you know what Impossible is about? It's about growth. It's about development. It's about your inner being, your love, your compassion. Who are you? What do you want to get out of your life? Like, your legacy, the hell. I don't want to be remembered as the drug dealing convicted felon. I want to be remembered as someone that's overcame all my struggles, all my trials and tribulations, man, and got to the top of the mountain of success. And like I said, it's a way of life, man. It's right up there next to God. God impossible. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. And so just to clarify, like impossible is a holistic approach for you to reach your full potential and its true purpose. And it's not just for people in addiction or recidivism. It's looking at your past, not running from them, but realizing that's where your actual gift comes from. For you, your lived experience. If you only understand geometry, you can't teach me calculus, right? And so, they talked about Roger Bannister 1,500 years ago. No one broke the 4-minute mile. He did it. 17 other people did the following year. So, bro, even in your failures, people are watching you. How are you going to respond? So when they see you go in there and you were living this in there and you're coming back, they're like, oh, bro, I've seen that before. But they see you continue to persevere and overcome. The people who want to have the desire to change, they're going to follow, bro. And they're like, dang, really low key, this decision you're making to get that stuff covered up and proclaim this new direction of life and stand on it. A lot of these people want to do it. They just don't have the ability to do it. So if someone is in addiction or, is locked up or someone just had a desire to change, is there a piece of advice that you would give them or a suggestion you might give them?
Yeah, man. I would just tell them to find it in their heart to know that they are somebody. They mean something to somebody. They are loved. We all have these families, but we all isolate ourselves when we're in active addiction. And when we come to places like this, environments like that, where are your friends at?
Yeah.
Where's your homies at?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't not one homie put no money on my books.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't got no letters. You know what I mean? Like the people that are our support group, that should be our support group, they do love us. Mm-hmm. They do love you. And if people can't find it in their own heart to know that they mean something, then I personally think that they're just going to continue to struggle.
Yeah.
You can't give something to someone you don't possess yourself.
That's real.
I can't love you unless I love myself.
Yeah.
Bro. I can't care about the next person if I don't care about myself. So you got to be selfish in a sense, but I would just encourage them to know that they are loved, bro. We are people. We people need us more than what we think.
Yeah. I think it's cool, man, just to see your growth. Where you already know you're my brother and I believe in you and I know you got this talent and potential and God wants to use you. Just watching these dudes around here, watching how you move, bro. You can see that they're watching you. And I think, you talk about, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I think it's important, to understand the concept, like it's a way of life in a sense. The best student is one who becomes a teacher. We're consistently trying to show other people through example, a way of life, that this doesn't have to be the end result, that they can rewrite their story and it can be a story of redemption. Who do you, and you look back in your life, and it can be more than one person. Is there somebody in mind that's had an impact on your life, and what was it that they showed you?
Definitely, there's been several people, but I gotta give shout outs to two, individuals. One being you. Before I met you, I was on a one-way path to destruction. I was standoffish at first. That's the prison mentality, what I'm saying? But you really not only led by example, but you showed me that there is a better way. I failed you because I didn't implement that in my life. But just watching your growth and your determination and your skill set and everything, it motivates me 10 times harder. I'm an envious person, but it's a good envy. Like I want what you have, but I don't want what you have. I want it for me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So definitely I haven't turned to too many people in my struggles, but you have been one of them. I try not to, get too personal, even with my brothers, but I have you more than anybody. And it's about that bond, that relationship, that trust, dude, that we need. That's part of impossible is, that brotherhood. But outside of yourself, God, man. He's opened so many doors for me. He showed me how to be more open-minded, being compassionate for others, being affiliated and being in prison, man. You can't have none, because at any given moment it can go down. What I'm saying? Like I've done things that I don't even want to talk about because I've buried that hatchet, but God showed me, I can't be forgiven.
Yeah.
As long as I continue to have my faith in Him and believe it in my heart that He is the one, I think my life is going to be awesome, dude. Like, so I give all praise to Him, His guidance, His patience with me, because how many times is it a baby walk and fall? Million times. That baby gets up and keeps trying. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep trying, and with God, with you, with a good support system, with the mentality I have now, I think I can make it.
Yeah, I think you made a good point about the baby falling and get back up. You said, I failed you or impossible, and the truth is, bro, you didn't. You actually proved to be correct. You know why? Because you didn't give up. The mountain represents our perception in response to failure. And I sit here, I'll be lying to you. I'm grateful for critics. I'm grateful for, all these people who are allowing me to be aware of blind spots, because I'm pushing this concept, but I'm not perfect. I'm 10 and a half years being incarcerated. I'm still arriving with my identity in Christ, and I'm making mistakes out here. I'm not here pushing Christ thinking like, hey, I got life figured out. I'm every day making mistakes that people were to know about. They crucify me, but that doesn't prevent me from not making those corrections and making those adjustments necessary to be a better person. And so, like, I want to tell you, bro, I'm grateful for you, bro. I'm grateful that you're a representation of Christ, and my brother. I'm grateful as impossible as it's growing, as people are able to create an identity through Christ and no longer running from their pain. I don't care about your past, bro. I see who Christ sees in you, and He wants to use your past to empower others so that they can focus on a different future, that their past doesn't define them. And so I'm grateful you didn't fail me, bro. You only proved to other people what it looks like to never give up. Because if we never give up, we can't lose. Yeah. So I'm only bro. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Out of this whole journey, what's the biggest lesson you feel like you've learned?
The biggest lesson I think I learned,
you don't have to pinpoint it. There's a couple, cool, but if there's one,
I think it's forgiveness. It's been hard for me to forgive others, myself. I've wronged more than I've righted. But being able to mend those relationships that deserve to be mended. Right. That kind of sounds selfish, but you don't have to make direct amends to everyone. But asking for forgiveness has always been hard for me, because throughout my addiction, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. Yeah. As long as I was cashing everybody out, everyone's happy. Well, really, they don't want the cash. They want your heart. They want that love, that feeling, that touch. I think that's definitely forgiveness, man. Compassion. Living by the golden rule.
Yeah.
Do unto others as you want done to you.
Yeah. I'm seeing you, and for those who are watching, you're probably thinking like, dang, there's no way they can be in county jail. There's no way this guy's locked up. The freedom, the matron, the sheriff, Jamie, who you guys might hear from, collectively, they're forward thinking and they're trying to give back, and this is part of the humanization process. But I see peace on you, and it's crazy. Those who have never been locked up, they're like, man, how could, they talk about in the Bible, peace in heaven on earth. And like, bro, there were so many times I can remember specific moments where I didn't feel like I was locked up when we were at the farm together, where we were able to experience that freedom, that connection, that brotherhood. I knew not to mess with you when you're watching Alabama basketball or football, but outside of that, bro, there's just so many great moments, bro. We were able to have fun. And I think the key is how we can maintain that, and out here, is not taking the wheel back from God, and that's why I think for me, sober living was necessary. That step down and not trying to take it too fast. And for me, it's been service. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but just trying to find a way to give back. And like, you've been coming into county jails, brother, you're helping me stay sober. Seeing these people in here, reminding myself what the fight looks like. There's only two types of people in this world, man. You're either gonna stay humble or you're gonna be humbled. And this allows me to remind myself, I'm one step away going back and having this. So I'm grateful for you, bro, and I look forward to this, you know, not only being shown to empower somebody, maybe there's a different way of life, or people that know you and what you've gone through, seeing how your response to you being locked up. And then for the future, maybe you have this opportunity to rewrite your future, get back out, and this is something that your kids can look back on, your nieces, your sister, your mom, all these people. You're gonna be able to give them hope based off of like, man, how did he never give up after all that time? He was still able to get back up and keep fighting. So I'm grateful to be serving the same God as you, man. And well, we're sending dogs into the joint. You're going into the joint. You're a dog, bro. You're standing on Christ. You're standing on these principles. One of my favorite concepts, and this might be cliche, but we're created to be thermostats, not thermometers. We're not going in there to adapt to room temperature. We're going in there to change the room temperature. These values, a lot of these dudes are living values they don't even believe in, and helping them understand these things don't transfer to the streets, you know? So I know this, bro. I'm at peace knowing with your mentality, you're a warrior, bro. God's called and chosen you to go in there. I mean, for real, as a warrior, as an evangelist for Christ, who better? 14 years of gang member experience, hiring a gang member, choosing to take a different route. That's what all these dudes want. They can say what they want, man, but this is what they want for their life. They want a family, they want peace, they want purpose, they want sustainability. I know success is different for everybody, bro, but success isn't being incarcerated and not having anything that you want out of life.
No.
Being yelled count time. I still got trauma, bro. I was at a juvenile the other day speaking, and they said count time. I got up. I forgot I was free. Yeah, I forgot I was free. But yeah, man. I believe in you, bro. I love you. And as soon as you hit the block, bro, I'm gonna send you some books. And you know, it's cool to see you teaching some of the classes that you were a part of inside the DOC. And here, man, you're planting seeds, and I know you're blessing these dudes in their path. I love you, bro.
I love you too, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.